Today on Top 5 Friday, I'm going to break some hearts. These are the top 5 hype busters in my collection. Welcome to J-ROYL, everyone. My name is James. This is Top 5 Friday, where I give you a gift from me to you, a top 5 fragrance list. Whether or not the term makes you cringe, hype is a big part of our community. When a fragrance is hyped, it means it has a contrived level of popularity. If a prominent reviewer says a fragrance is awesome, it's more likely to get purchased by their audience. I found 5 fragrances in my collection that get quite a bit of hype. Now, before you flood the comment section bashing me for hating on these fragrances, I don't hate them. In fact, I like them all, and that's why I have them. But of all the fragrances I do have, these fragrances, however, didn't quite meet the expectations I originally had for them. My number 5 hype buster is Herrera by Parfums de Marly. Herrera gets a lot of hype, everyone. This is a beastly sweet tobacco fragrance. No one has anything bad to say about this fragrance. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Herrera. I like Herrera. I think it's a fine fragrance, obviously very, very good in the cold weather. But when I finally got my nose on it, I deemed it bottle worthy for myself, but it didn't blow me away like everyone online said it does. My opinion on Herrera is it's a good fragrance. That's it. It's good. Is it the GOAT? Not by a long shot. Are there other fragrances in the same category that I prefer? Definitely. At number 5, Herrera. My number 4 hype buster is Reflection Man by Amouage. Similar to Herrera, I really do like this fragrance, but I think Reflection Man gets a bit too much hype simply because the Amouage line has so many cool fragrances. Yet this is the one that people always recommend, saying, get this. It kind of smells like a designer, so you'll like it. I think this fragrance is nice. Problem is, I've never gotten positive feedback from it. So for a fragrance that's supposed to be designer in its characteristics, I don't get those designer-like results with the compliments. What I love about Amouage is how unique they all are. But that being said, there are other fragrances within this house that I think deserve more hype than this one does. But James, how do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
At number 4, Reflection Man. My number 3 hype buster is Cedrat Boise by Mancera. Much like Reflection Man, this is the most hyped fragrance within this house. While some people label it as an Aventus clone, it's not. It is its own fragrance, it has its own characteristics, and I think it's really nice and elegant. But within that elegance, it also is fairly soft on me. Projection isn't where I want it to be, where Aventus's performance is. So even though they're not totally similar, every time I wear this, I'm just longing for the king. I want some of that Aventus. I think there are much cooler fragrances within Mancera's extremely extensive line, yet Cedrat Boise is one that always seems to pop up on everyone's lists, and it seems to get quite a bit of hype. I also see it getting sold quite often in the Facebook fragrance groups, and that's because people are probably regretting their decision to blind buy this. It's a great fragrance, everyone, and again, it does its own thing, so I'm not trying to knock it too hard, but really, is it worth the hype? No. At number 3, Cedrat Boise. My number 2 hype buster in my collection is CH Men by Carolina Herrera. Now this is a hype buster that is personal to me. CH Men was single-handedly promoted by Mr. Jeremy Fragrance. He had us all believe that this was the go-to bad boy, edgy, one-night stand fragrance, all that cool stuff that sounds real cool. But what ended up happening every time I wore it was, I'd smell nice for a little while, and then it'd be gone. While CH Men is pretty unique, I'm not a fan of its performance, and I'm a much bigger fan of its flankers. Central Park and Grand Tour, love those fragrances. This one just kind of gets left behind for me. And if I really wanted a bad boy fragrance, I have tons of edgier fragrances that I would rather reach for. That being said, if I got a couple extra hours of performance on this, the hype would be justified, IMO. At number 2, CH Men. And my number 1 hype buster is Pacific Rock Moss, Goldfield and Banks. I did a review on this fragrance, so I won't go into it too much. We all know how hyped this fragrance was, and then we all got the fragrance and realized I spent way too much money. The color of the perfume exemplifies what you get. It's aquatic, it's very fresh, the rock moss type of feel in it. To me, it's kind of sea salty as well. I get an opening close to 24 Ice Gold, and then it starts to get into this almost ambergris type of feel, where it's just a bit salty. It's nice, but it lasts 3 hours. Massively hyped fragrance, totally not worth the hype, thank you very much. But the bottle's nice, you know? At number 1, duh. Don't buy into hype, y'all. It ain't worth it. Fragrances are personal. You find fragrances that work for you. Here's a pro tip. When you go to Saks and you're checking out the Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrances, don't just smell Baccarat Rouge 540. Smell them all, and then find your favorite.
Although I love BR 540.
All of our links to the Facebook group and Instagram are down below, and if you like what you see, then go ahead and like the video. Later, peace, bye.